I'm Cecilia McIntyre. I'm new here with PKC. I am in the Human Resources Training and Development Department, and I'd like to introduce you to one of our voluntary benefits providers, Tom. He's with Legal Shield. He's going to give us a short presentation on the Legal Shield benefits that we offer.
All right. Thank you, Cecilia. As she said, my name's Tom Whitehead. I'm an independent associate for Legal Shield, and appreciate you coming this afternoon. I've been here once before, and we've got several of the employees with PKC that have already joined and are members and have been members for a little over a year now, including Perry. He's got the plan. I saw him a couple weeks ago, and he said, you really need to get back. We've got a lot of new employees, so that's why I'm here. If you would, if you open the folder there, on the right-hand side at the very front, there's an application. And I'd like to have everybody at least turn this in today, whether you want to get the plan or not. So if you would, on the top left, it says today's date. Just write in 1/13/15. And then where it's got applicant's name, put your last name and first name. This way, Cecilia have a record of who everybody that has seen the presentation has been offered the plan. And then once you've got that done, if you would go just to the top of the application here and just write LP, stands for legal plan, $15.95. That's the monthly cost of the plan. And then underneath that, write IDT. And under the $15.95, write $14.95. That's the standalone cost of the identity theft plan. And then underneath that, just write both. And then next to that, $25.90. If you get both plans, they knock $5 off the identity plan. So you can see both these plans are very, very affordable. My understanding is that you all get paid every Friday, so literally you're looking at less than $6 a pay period to get both plans. Then if you'll look in the pamphlet and pull out the brochure that says from the trivial to the traumatic. Little company history. Legal Shield is a 43-year-old company headquartered out of Ada, Oklahoma. They were formed specifically, hi, come on in. They were formed specifically to provide affordable legal services for everyday working people. About 3 years ago, they were on the New York Stock Exchange for 20 years and had 20 profitable years of business. Then 3 years ago, a company called Mid-Ocean Partners wrote a check for $652 million and took them private with the intention of growing this company from about $500 million a year to $5 billion a year. They've done this with several other companies, Wilson Fans, I think Weight Watchers. There's about a dozen companies they've done this with. Let me ask you a couple questions. Who in here is married? Okay. Any children at home? Okay. Any teenage children? Teenage drivers? Anybody still drive like teenagers? Okay. How about who here does not have a will? Okay. Well, you're in the majority. About 70% of Americans don't have a will. But I appreciate you answering the questions because that'll kind of give me an idea on the things to focus on the plans. Okay, from this brochure, we've got two plans today, an everyday life legal plan and a very comprehensive identity theft plan. On the legal plan, if you'll pull that out, this plan is a family plan. When you sign up you're covered, your spouse or significant other, any never married children up to age 26 that are either full-time students or living at home, or if you're the guardian of a child under age 18, they're covered, as well as any physical or mentally challenged child. I've got my 31-year-old son is mentally challenged. He's living at home. He's covered for as long as I have the plan. As far as the coverage is concerned, what you get as a member is you get unlimited access to an attorney firm. You can ask them any question about your legal rights, any legal question that you might have, any dispute that you may have going on with the phone company, car mechanic, anything like that. Right after I signed up, as a member, I signed up for UVerse service with AT&T. I already had their phone and internet, but I added the cable to it. They came out and installed a new modem because they were doing the high-speed internet, and they installed the modem in my basement, and I couldn't get good, consistent wireless service throughout my house. So I called them up after about a month of every day losing the internet. They sent somebody out. Of course, he went all over my house, downloaded YouTube videos, and it just worked like a charm. But he went ahead and he adjusted some things on the modem. Well, he left, same thing the next day. I was losing wireless. So I called him up and I said, I want you to move the modem back to the main level of my house, because I never had any trouble with the dial-up service. So they had two guys come out. They had me sign a work order before they would do anything. And I put on there, I'm not paying for you to move my modem because I paid for 3 months of service that I haven't got. Well, it took them 3 hours, and the next month I got a bill for $428. So instead of jumping up and down or spending 3 hours on the phone, I called Legal Shield, I sent them all the information. The next month I got a credit for $428 from AT&T. So if you've got any type of dispute like that, you just call Legal Shield. If they feel like they can write a letter or make a phone call on your behalf, they'll do that on an unlimited basis, and you'll never see a bill from them. That was fairly trivial, although it literally paid for about 2 years worth of membership for me. You know, we had a member lives in Gardner, single mom in her late 30s that had to have a pacemaker installed. And about a month after she had that done, she was still having problems with it, and they figured out that she had a defective pacemaker. Well, she called the insurance company. They said, well, we pay for one, we don't pay for two, and it was going to be like a $40,000 bill. Well, she called Legal Shield. She sent the policy. They did their little magic, and she ended up getting a replacement pacemaker at no charge. So that's a fairly traumatic event that they were able to save her a significant amount of money. So that's the type of thing, from the trivial to the traumatic, any type of issue like that, you get that on an unlimited basis. Also, you got 24/7 coverage. In the event the police come knocking at your door at 10:30 at night, you're in an accident at midnight and there's an injury and the police are on the way and you don't know what you should do or say, you can literally call an emergency number and get an attorney on the phone right then and there. In fact, they came out with a new app for smartphones this month that you can download the app, and it's literally press 2 buttons and you got an attorney on the phone. So 24/7 coverage in case of emergency. You know, I talked about the wills. They'll do document reviews, any type of legal document up to 15 pages in length before you sign a contract with the phone company, a lease, an apartment lease, any type of legal document. You can send it to Legal Shield. They'll review it before you sign it and get on the phone and explain to you what you're committing to before you do it. You know, wealthy people don't sign anything without having their attorney take a look at it. Well, you got the same opportunity right now. In addition to that, they will prepare a will for you and your spouse. If you've got minor children, they'll do a child trust, as well as a living will and healthcare power of attorney, which with the new HIPAA laws, if, say, you're in an accident and you can't speak and you don't have either a healthcare power of attorney or a living will, technically the doctor can't ask your spouse what you want done. You leave it up to the doctor to decide for you what you want done if you don't have those two documents in place. So they'll do all of that for you at no charge. You know, I talked about driving like a teenager. On the traffic area, this is one area of coverage that you've got to have the plan in effect for 15 days before it takes effect. But as long as the vehicle is properly registered, you have a legal license to drive, and there's no drugs or alcohol involved. If you were to get a ticket any place in the country, say you're on vacation in Denver, you get a speeding ticket. You call Legal Shield, you send them the ticket, they will actually hire an attorney in that jurisdiction to represent you in court, to either try to get the ticket dismissed or at least move to a non-moving violation, which saves points on your insurance, which saves you money on your premium. They've got about a 90% success rate at doing that, and you never get a bill. So I know a lot of people I talk to get 1 or 2 speeding tickets a year, and they ended up doubling the fine and paying an attorney another $100, $150. The speeding ticket ends up costing them $400 or $500. If that kind of describes you, 1 ticket a year, this will pretty much take care of the cost of this plan. Next thing you see on here, audit services. You get a bank of 50 tax attorney hours in the event you get an audit letter from the IRS. They will send a tax attorney with you or for you to the IRS on the initial meetings in an effort to try to get that resolved. If it goes to court, you got 50 tax attorney hours to spend before it costs you any money. It's the same type of thing on a lawsuit. In your first year as a member, you get 60 attorney hours in the event that you're sued for any reason. And there's something like 170 lawsuits filed every minute in the United States. So it's not outside the realm of possibility of at some point in time you get hit with a lawsuit. Every year that you maintain your membership, they add 60 hours to that, and they cap it off after 5 years and 300 attorney hours. All of these things are kind of defensive in nature to try to keep you out of any type of trouble. Should you choose to do some things, should you choose to drink and drive or commit a crime or to sue someone, the last thing we got here is a 25% discount from their stated hourly rates. So obviously they can't cover every possible thing that happens to you for less than $20 a month. But if, say you made a bad decision and were drinking and driving and got caught, you always get a free phone call, no matter if it's pre-existing, it happened a year ago, you always can pick up the phone and get advice. And say in a DUI situation, you can call them and find out what hoops you're going to have to jump through. And then if you need their assistance from there, all of that stuff would always be at a 25% discount. So that's the legal plan. And again, that's $15.95 a month. If you open that back up, on the other side, you'll see another brochure. It's got identity theft plan. This is also a family plan. This is a little bit different. As a member, you're covered, your spouse is covered, and then up to 8 children, 18 years or younger.
I'm sorry, just Bernie called in, said they were having a hard time hearing on the conference call line.
Okay.
So.
Get that closer. Okay, so that's a, it is a family plan. What's the first thing you all think of when I say identity theft?
Credit cards.
Credit card, bank, that is typical. 5 years ago, that was 80% of identity theft. Today, it's about 17%. And we're the only company that covers all areas of identity theft, which would be financial, that's considered financial, social security number, driver's license, medical, character criminal, and then minor protection. And I mean, it's amazing what these people come up with. If they get your social security number, and they're going in and they're filing fraudulent tax returns, getting a refund check from Uncle Sam, and then you file your tax return and they're sitting there with 2 tax returns, and you got a major problem with the IRS. On the medical area is one of the fastest growing areas of identity theft, where if you look at your insurance card, it's got a number on there, but none of them have your picture. And if they're able to get that insurance number, they're actually going in and having operations done under your name, your insurance card, which is sticking the insurance company with the bill and you with part of that bill. But the more dangerous thing is, say they did that at Overland Park Regional, you're in a car accident, you're unconscious, you end up at Overland Park Regional, they look in your wallet, they pull up your name, and they got all the wrong medical information for you. We've actually had members die because of that situation. So, it's a very real problem. I'm sure everybody's heard of Home Depot and Target and all these. Most of the major retail companies have had breaches. About 6 weeks ago, they found out somehow that the Russian mafia had gotten 1.2 billion usernames and passwords. So this is rampant. What you get when you sign up as a member, you get a detailed credit report. 60% of the credit reports have wrong information on them. If you've got wrong information, you call Legal Shield. They will help get that corrected. You get your credit score, and they will explain to you how they develop that credit score. If you're ever going to borrow money to buy a house, buy a car, any kind of credit, the people you're buying the product from is going to be looking at your credit score, and that very well can determine whether or not you're going to get credit, and if so, what kind of interest rates you're going to pay. Then they do continuous monitoring of your credit. So, for example, in May, I got a call from Visa with 3 unusual purchases on my card, and it turned out that they weren't from me, so they canceled the card. And I decided to go into U.S. Bank, where I bank, to get a new Visa card. And I went in at 10:30 in the morning, signed up for a card. That afternoon, about 2 o'clock, I got a text and an email from Legal Shield asking me if I'd been in U.S. Bank applying for a Visa credit card. So that's how quickly they pick things up. They're monitoring the credit bureau. So you get continuous monitoring, unlimited consultation. If you've got some issues with your credit, you can give them a call as often as you like. They will help guide you to getting your credit back restored. And then the safeguard for minors, one of the biggest areas of crime is they're getting young kids social security numbers, and typically they've got 15, 16, 17 years before anybody's ever going to pull a credit report on your kid, and that can be a major disaster. We've had situations where a divorce situation and the mother or father has used a kid's social security number and has totally ruined the kid's credit, and he's not even 10 years old. So that's the coverage. The biggest difference in our plan and every other plan out there is that we've got a relationship with Kroll Advisory Services. They're the largest security firm in the world. They actually approached Legal Shield about 8 or 9 years ago because they've been in the identity theft field for 18 years. And they